The crypto locker virus. Malware that kidnaps documents and holds them for ransom. Corporations aren't the only ones under cyber attack. Ransomware has no limits, often attacking schools. That's exactly what happened at Bedford School. Established by English Royal Charter in 1552, today Bedford School is an independent boarding and day school serving 1,100 boys ages 7 to 18 and employing 300 staff.
My name is Will Montgomery. I'm Director of Teaching and Learning here at Bedford School, and at the time of the crypto locker virus attack, I was also Head of Geography and coached our first team for cricket. Initially, I was absolutely distraught when I saw my files becoming encrypted. I had a wealth of personal and professional materials that I developed over 8 years of teaching that were within there, and many of the cricket materials that we've collected and the historical backgrounds of who play for us were also stored there, and we would have lost those records over time. I was about to take over a new role, and it would have been disastrous for that. I'd spent a long time preparing materials, but it also would have made a big difference personally. You know, teaching's all about personal connections, and I've kept years and years of records of all the people I've spoken to. And when you bump into those later in life, that's really important, and I wouldn't have had those available to me.
When we found out about the attack, I think the first feeling was one of panic. Obviously, we were concerned about what Will was going to say when we told him that all 3 copies of his files had been encrypted. We turned to Veeam software, of course. Veeam enabled us to deal with the attack very quickly because we keep restore points every day, going back at least a week and then further back fortnightly. So I was confident that we would be able to find a restore point before the files were encrypted. And although it took a little time, we were able to find that restore point. Because we were able to use individual item restore rather than complete server restore, we didn't have to restore the whole server back to that point, but just find the files that had been encrypted and restore just those files. So all the files were restored. No ransom was paid.
When Bob first told me that he could restore the files, I was absolutely delighted. I think I'd come to terms with the idea that I could replace some of the professional work material, albeit it was going to take me a huge amount of time to do so. But just to know that the more of the personal links and the lists of students that I'd taught, and photos of field trips overseas and things that we'd done could come back to me, it was a huge, huge relief. The best thing about Veeam has been the security. Knowing that your files are backed up is invaluable. And I've spent a long time thinking about what the implications could have been had I lost those materials, and I'm very, very grateful that I didn't.
Our Veeam system enables me to sleep better at night. I have the reassurance that with Veeam running, all the files on our system, whether it's individual pupil files or staff files or school administration files, are all securely protected. The day-to-day management takes us perhaps 5 or 10% of the time that it used to with our legacy system, and when it comes to a restore, again, it takes perhaps 5 or 10% of the time that it used to take. I would put Veeam in the same bracket as my house insurance at home. I have fire insurance at home, but I hope I'm never going to need it. In a computer environment, I fear that we need Veeam rather more regularly, either because we're hit with some malware or because somebody corrupts a file or deletes a file accidentally. Veeam gives me the assurance that we can recover from those incidents quickly and easily.
If anyone was to ask me if they should get the Veeam software, I'd encourage them to do so. It's not something that you necessarily feel you're going to need every day, but when a crisis hits, it's very nice to know that it's there.
The crypto locker virus leaves you with one choice: pay ransom or lose your files forever. Veeam gives you a much better choice. Protect your organization with high-speed recovery from reliable backups. Veeam takes backup and recovery to the next level, helping you avoid data loss.